Hi everyone and welcome to Rob Evans 365. This is day number 374. And today I am out walking in the sunshine and it is one of the most magnificent winter's days that you could ever hope for. You know, when you have a day where you have that frost in the morning and it's like super cold and you know that there's pretty much no breeze, because that's why we have had a frost, and you know that the day is going to turn into something absolutely magnificent, and when the sun comes out, and that's what we have today. If I turn 360 degrees right now, there is not a cloud in the sky, and the sky is that deep rich blue colour. It's magnificent. And what's the point of telling you all that? Well, so many people say that they hate winter, and it's wet, it's dark, and they can't get out and exercise. And I mean, if you just look at the number of people that pay for their classes with me that don't turn up during winter, I mean, the numbers drop significantly. Why is that? Well, sometimes there's obviously some genuine illness. Other times it's just that people become lazy, complacent, and think, well, I won't worry about it now. I'll come back and do it at another stage later in the year. Everybody will find an excuse if they want to justify their action or inaction. But when there are days like today, now I'm busy. If you saw my schedule, you would understand. If you knew what was going on in my head and my life, you would understand. But as I said just recently, it's about life choices. Okay, so I've made a choice this morning to say, do you know what? I am going to take some time out right now to go and enjoy this sun. Because I've only got a narrow window of time before I've got appointments, meetings, phone calls, etc. that I have to make. So I need to make sure that I take advantage of the time I have it when I have it. And I had that opportunity right now, so I decided that I would take it. And I am loving it. I'm loving it, but that's what life's about, isn't it? It's about having choices. And I was talking to a client earlier this morning, and she was telling me about how she suffers from depression, and the exercise that she's been doing has greatly helped her with managing her depression. But recently she hasn't been able to do as many classes as she normally would because of changing her husband's work timetable and so forth. So she's had to miss a couple of classes a week, and she's been feeling terrible about it. And she said to me today that she'd started to feel depressed again because I think she missed like a couple of weeks, and then she's not able to come as often. And I said to her that it is proven that the exercise does help you feel better about yourself, because it releases good endorphins in your brain when you're exercising. So, of course, naturally, that has an impact on improving your state of mind. And if you are feeling depressed, then you feel less depressed as a result of that. So, it's a very powerful thing. I mean, you've heard me say before, your food, your exercise, it has such a dramatic impact on your overall health across every area of your life that often you don't see that until you're in it and feeling it. But trust me, it does. It's so powerful. And that to me is beautiful. So the point of me telling you that now is that there is a condition. I can't remember the acronym SAD, but as in SAD, I can't remember exactly what it is. It's like sunlight something or other deficiency, and sunlight acquired deficiency, maybe, I don't know, something like that. But it's a real condition that emerged from, I think it was largely the UK, because even their summers are dark and dreary a lot of the time, and it's always raining there and overcast, and it's just not that great. And people get into this state where they just feel, unhappy, sad, literally sad because of the no sunlight, and they become depressed and angry and grumpy and upset. It's a real condition. And I think that happens to us here in Australia. I mean, we're quite fortunate that we do have access to, great weather around us. But me living in Melbourne, I mean, they talk about Melbourne, you experience 4 seasons in one day. And that's often very true because we do get such contrast from, 1 hour to the next sometimes. So it is quite true that we do get that. And today I'm taking advantage of the great weather because it just makes me feel good. I think what happens is that people get into this rut of just shutting down through the winter, and they do stack on the weight, and their health deteriorates. So they're just in a much worse position by the time the good weather does come around. This is about those life choices and making sure that you embrace this forever so that it just becomes part of you. So let me tell you what was going on with me today to get me to do this right now. So I woke up this morning, and when I got out of bed, I don't know whether I slept a little bit funny or not. I know that yesterday is a good example of how things can accumulate on top of each other. I didn't get my 10,000 steps in yesterday. I had a number of meetings, a really busy day, and then looking after the kids at night, and I couldn't get my 10,000 steps in. I think I couldn't tell you. I think it was around 8 or something like that. And I was just exhausted by the end of the day, so I was asleep by about 9:30 or something like that. It took me about 90 seconds to get to sleep, I reckon. So I got up this morning and the back was feeling not 100%. So, and then I thought, that's because I didn't get out and do my walking for 20 minutes yesterday. So I thought, okay, I have to make some time to do that. Now, I made this decision at about 4:20 this morning, so I didn't know what sort of day it was going to be. I knew that the day before yesterday it was frosty and really cold, but I wasn't 100% sure what it was going to be like. So I was determined to get out and go for a walk no matter what. And I've had a busy morning, a number of meetings and phone calls to make, and now I took a look outside, so I've got a window outside my office to let the natural light in. I'm like, man, this is such a gorgeous day. I need to take advantage of it. So I've been recording a few videos outside and thought I need to just go for a walk and really embrace it, because I think there's something about getting that natural sunlight on your face, obviously for vitamin D, but it just feels good, doesn't it, when you're out in nice sunny weather? It feels really great. And to get that warmth, so it's not, I'm wearing a beanie and I'm rugged up at the moment, but it's starting to thaw out the further I walk. It's really quite beautiful. And I think that there needs to be more focus from people to move more. Now, obviously, it's a beautiful day, and perhaps more people would move more today than compared to if it was dark or rainy. But still, you'll have those people that just say, oh wow, it's a really nice day, isn't it? But still not take advantage of it. It's like, you want to make a difference to your life. I could stop anyone on the street here and probably ask them about 5 to 10 questions and work out that they're actually not really happy with where they are in their life. And it could be across one area, it could be across multiple areas. It doesn't really matter, but that's just the reality of it. I mean, I network with enough people. Sorry about the crazy dog. I network with enough people around the world to know that these are not just localized issues. These are human issues, and everybody's got issues. Everybody's got stuff with them. It's just that some people carry more stuff than others. Some people live in the past. Some people aren't prepared to take action to move their life to a different level and happy to just sit there and complain about it. And some people like to be just miserable, and misery loves misery. And I see networking groups form, like little pockets of people form at these networking events that I go to, and it's like kind of like, well, that's the miserable group over there. All of them are unsuccessful in their businesses, and they're all complaining about stuff, but they love it, and they want to have more discussions and meetings with other, miserable, unhappy people, because they can get energy from that group and those discussions about other miserable things and just be miserable. And there are people that I connected with over in the US last year, and initially you don't really know what people are like, and you need to be open to new discussions and so forth. And people that I thought, wow, these people sound like they're real go-getters. There might be some good in me learning from this person. Maybe we partner together on something in the future. And then what actually comes to show up months later, it's like, wow, this person just talks and talks and talks. And there's one person in particular, and what they do is just keep doing enrolling in stuff. And I would talk to them and say, oh, I've just started doing this, or I've been working through this, and I say, oh yeah, I've got a course on this. I said, oh well, how did you find that work for you? I said, oh, I haven't done it yet. Oh, when did you get it? Oh, last year sometime. And then got another thing, and then you see that, oh wow, this person is on holidays a lot, or always. Oh, there's one person that I don't connect with so much anymore now, but every time that they post a photo, they're holding an alcoholic drink. Now this is a person that works in the health and fitness industry, and there's nothing wrong with celebrating, I get that, but when every photo you see, it's around the alcohol, it's like, man, is that, I guess you might love it, but is that the message that you want to convey? I'm sure there's something else with that behaviour that makes you think, oh well, okay, maybe they could focus on something else. So I guess there is also a bunch of people that will always talk about their health and fitness, and they will socialise with the people that will always talk about it and never really do anything, or they'll do something ad hoc, or you'll see it on Facebook where say, oh, let's do this, and they'll either do it or they won't, but then that's the only thing they'll do and they'll never do it again kind of thing. Because it's like, let's go try yoga. Oh, I've heard that Bikram yoga is really good, let's go try that, because you get hot and it's kind of easy and stuff. It's like, okay, well, if you want something that's easy, don't go do that to start with, but because it's not easy. There are no easy ways out in this. You have to work hard, and you have to do it consistently. It has to be your lifestyle, not just something you do for a bit. I've heard Les Brown, the great motivational speaker, talk about his different friends, and he's got friends that are always just talking about losing weight. He said, we're going to lose weight one day. We'll lose weight one day. but they love their M&M peanuts and things like that. So he talk about how he loves his mother's sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie, but he knows that doesn't serve him well. But he struggles to, really conquer those things, even though he might have other things in his life taken care of. He really struggles with that, and he talks about that. I did a post about Jason Alexander. So Jason Alexander, the guy that plays George Costanza out of Seinfeld for 10 years. Great guy. He's got a great personality. He's a singer as well. He performs in musicals. He's been in a few movies like Pretty Woman and Shallow Hal. I think he's been in some other ones as well. And just an all-round great guy. But he says that he's always battled with his weight. He loves Twinkies, So those of you who don't know what a Twinkie is, I've never tried one, but they're in America. So little sponge cakes with fake cream in them, sealed up in a plastic bag. And he loves those. Now, he said that he went on a program where he was focused on losing some weight. He signed up with Jenny Craig, and he was the spokesperson for there for some time. And I saw him last year at or the photo that you see of me with him on Facebook, and he's struggling a little bit with his weight, and his calories are up to around 4,500 a day, and he cut them down to 1,500. Introduced exercise into his week 5 times a week, and he dropped something like 5 kilos in 5 weeks, something like that. So about 1 kilo a week. And that's just from sensible nutrition, exercise, and doing it consistently. Now, obviously something fell down, so I think I read that was in 2010 when he'd done that, and obviously he's still not in the shape of his life, so, that's the way he is. But then look at Jerry Seinfeld, who was also on the show, and last image I saw of Jerry, he wasn't overweight. His nutrition might be questionable, but he's got some. He loves his breakfast cereals. He loves a meal that he can just eat with one hand. But obviously he's got something under control there in terms of whether it's his calorie consumption or his exercise or something like that. But he at least has all of that under control so that he doesn't blow out. So it really is a case of wanting to have a hunger for it, but just doing it consistently. I guess my message today is, it's beautiful today, get out and move. Even if it's not beautiful, get out and move. It's winter, get out and move. So I'm working on a program that I want to roll out to the whole of Pakenham. So through the council, roll it out to every resident, give him a whole bunch of free content, free materials and so forth. Now, obviously food is a huge part of somebody's weight loss journey. But we think, okay, well, let's go steady as she goes. I know that some programs that work really well on a big scale is about, firstly, just getting people to move more. One of the issues that we have in our area out here is that we're about 70 odd k's from the CBD of Melbourne, the Central Business District, so the centre of Melbourne. So what does that mean? A lot of people spend 3-4 hours a day travelling, either on the train or in their car, parked in traffic, and 4 hours of sitting, and then they go to their desk in the city, and what are they doing? They're sitting. So most of the time they're sedentary, even though there might be a short walk to and from the car and to the train station, etc. It's not enough. It's really not enough for people. So I'm working on a program to get people to move more, and everybody would benefit from that. I benefit from the food too, but one step at a time. Let's get people to move first, because that's probably the easiest. Motivate people to move. and then we can work on the rest later. So I want you to move more. Move, baby, move. And you watch just how that makes you reflect on winter at the end of it and say, wow, actually, do you know what? That was a pretty good winter. Why? You say, oh, it was the weather. Well, I assure you that a part of it will be the fact that you exercised and that you felt really good as a result of the exercise. So there's my challenge to you. Get out and move as much as you can this winter. You'll love it. All right, that's me out for today. See you tomorrow.